Hi everyone, welcome back to Bob. Let's talk number plates, Harley-Davidsons and tour packs and the problems that happens when you have all three of those things. Let me turn around and I'll show you what I mean. So this is the Black Knight in its corner in the garage on its dolly, look at that. And you can see with this number plate, which is now not legal anymore, that the sides have been turned down, and that is because the width of the plate, which is a standard width in New Zealand, although you can get some longer ones, a bit like the Euro style, or you could, but this is generally the typical size. Even if you have one letter or one number or combinations right up to 5, that's the width that it is. And the problem we've got, which I've had on an old bike, is that this is a Harley-Davidson tour pack. Oh, got to lift it up. If you can look at the width underneath there of the quick detach, which is the width of the seat and a little bit more to the rails, just down here, you can see that when that goes on the bike and sits in place, those mounting plates come right close in to the number plate. So the problem with that is you have to bend your plate or get a remanufactured Signwriter made plate where they'll do the letters on some reflective background with a narrower. You can see here, that's the width of the American size. And I think they should do a motorcycle size plate in this country, but obviously at the moment they don't. And you can see how it's just a lot narrower. Some slimmer letters would be great. We haven't got that, but what we do have over here on the bench is a new plate. Bobber B for Bob. Bobber Bob. Look at that. Well, that's quite nice and new. No holes yet. But the thing is, I don't want to bend this one to fit on the bike. What I want to do is, back to the bike, is put the plate here. Now this bike doesn't have a lower mount option because you're going to have mount holes that are no longer used, and so that would mean blanking them off and it wouldn't be the same. Obviously I've taken this unit off because it's got the lower two turn signals quite close in the bullet style, and under that, it's already pre-made to take the LED or the lamp, like the bikes where this particular unit has the full sort of down lower plate kit on it. So as you can see as we come in, this hole and this hole, I'll turn it this way maybe, those two holes, that's to mount like a backing plastic plate. I've ordered that from Harley. And this hole and this hole, that will be to mount the little lamp that will go into this cavity right here. So when you mount that on the bike, imagine this is on the bike, that's where the lamp's going to be. I've replaced, or I'm going to replace, I've ordered today a new red lens without any window in it, so that the bulb will just be on inside it. And that will be the bike, and then this will illuminate underneath and shine down onto the plate, which will be mounted sort of like that. So that's going to be a whole lot better. That's the electrical side of it. So this plug, this way it goes. This plug here at the top, you can see the grease hasn't ever been used, and that will be for the plug to plug into on the number plate LED. It's actually reserved for that, for low mounted bikes. So I've got those parts on order, and we will see those come soon, and then I'll be able to continue on the video. What I can do in the meantime is drill this to match the hole sizes of the one that's on there, and I can mount this one on the bike just in there, and obviously that will be wider, but then I just won't use the top trunk box over there I'll just use the bags or the 300 kilo rack and seat back if Mrs. Bob wants to ride with me. So let's get this one off, drill some new holes in this one, match them up off that, and mount that. This is already an aftermarket plate, or a one that was replaced from the standard. The standard plate goes straight up and down. But this plate is called a lay down plate. I'm not sure if it's a Harley one, it might be, I think. And that's just a little license holder bracket. So I'll leave that for the time being. I'll remount the light because it might be 2 or 3 weeks before the parts come. But let's go and swap this one out for Mr. Bob's plate. Right, I've got a few tools. Got a drill bit, a marker pen, a punch, a little deburrer, and a couple of hammers. I'm just going to have to flatten this one. This needs to be sent back anyway. When you get this sent to you, it comes registering to the vehicle. So this one now is defunct. But to get probably a good hole location, I'll just need to flatten it out. Earmuffs on. Just has to be near enough. .56 in from each end. You wouldn't think it'd be this hard, but it's not hard. It's just I'm trying to make it right. Beautiful, right. I need to do a very gentle tippy-tappy. I don't really want to do it from the other side, so I'm going to do a very... see, now I need to make sure that the head position... See how it's quite close here? I think either way I go, it's going to be not in a good place. So I probably need to come along a bit this way, and I could put on the bike the old holder. Well, not the old holder, but the one that came with the bike, which hasn't really been used, because I think the bolt position might be a bit more forgiving. Right, let's go and find that. So I can only drill it once, and I just don't want to drill it badly. Right, so it is a Harley one. This is what came with the bike. Well, actually, I rode out to meet the previous owner and bought a few of the old parts off him, which was great. Nice to meet them. Me and Mrs. Bob went for a ride. So this just might help me. This is the old kit, obviously, but the positioning of these, look at these slots, are far more generous, and I think what I might get from this is my hole position, which currently is based off that laydown plate, which is quite particular. I've got more of a range to put my bolts in here where there's a bit more room from the stamping. So I'm planning, I think, to go more in this little nice little dipped piece and maybe that dipped piece, as long as I can get them to be around the same place, and that will, I think, mount better, more betterer. And I've just seen another problem, because this piece is the bottom, and I don't want to drill the bottom of the plate, because with the new bike, the new plate, it's going to be the top, effectively, not with the reflector there, but I want it to be that way. So now I'm stuck, aren't I? Unless I just drill that laydown plate with some holes that suit this, but then that's gonna, well, it won't ruin it, but it's not really ideal, but it's gonna come off anyway. Oh dear. Let me have a think. You know how they say measure twice, but I tell you, it always makes me nervous. that sits through there beautifully. Now I need to drill the lay down bracket. I think I've come up with a temporary solution. I have to admit I couldn't bring myself to drill this plate. I've already put one hole in it for the license holder, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the old bracket upside down. That's the one that goes that way, and I've got a bolt which I'll be able to access with a spanner there, or yeah, and same that side, and then I'll nip up the plate this way with some flat or flatter type nuts with a little washer so it won't mark the plate, and that's going to hold it into position. Then I can use these studs right there like that, which fits the width of the thing of there, of that one and that one. So I'll have a little overhang for a few days, but it'll hold it into position. Then I'll put my light back on and I'll be good to go until the new parts arrive. So let's get this fastened on. I only want this to last a little while. See, that's nipped up. Ooh, just a little bit more. Doesn't have to last long. Looks pretty straight. And so that's the idea. Those two go through. And then this will match into that one and that one, which is good. And then I'll have to remount my license label. I've got this very skinny wrench that might, oh yes, hold it. It's going to work enough, and that's all I need. Just for a couple of weeks. It's going to be sturdy enough. Yep, that's okay. Right, what I'm going to do is fit the light. I'll put the indicators on already. Just going to now fasten all this up. Right, sideways. I've just put that on, a bit of a cockeyed at the moment, but that'll be all right. We'll put that on when all the new stuff's sorted out. So that's it for this part of the video. The plate is fitted temporarily in its upper position. I'll have to remember to not put my little tour case on it, otherwise it's going to fold them in and break the plate and scratch it, and it looks all nice and new, doesn't it? So the next bit of the video is going to be when the parts have arrived at the Harley shop and we bring them home and we'll begin to fit them to get that plate mounted down below. See you soon. I know, the eagle-eyed amongst you would have noticed. He didn't put the bulb in. No, he didn't. Right, it's a week later. I've undid this before, but haven't done any further so we can open it together. I ordered this online, and it wasn't delivered to my house. And I chased up with the seller and said, oh, I haven't got it. He said, oh, I've had a text to say that it's been delivered. And so I rang New Zealand Post and said, the person that sent it says it's been delivered. I have not got it in my house or my letterbox. And they chased it up. Long story short, I rang up, as I said, Courier Post, and the courier had delivered it to the wrong house. A house apparently that sounded a bit similar in its address, even though you'd read it. Apparently it was similar enough to where they delivered it to a house across town. Oh, look at that. That's actually quite nice. It is used, but only barely. So this is the part that I'm needing. This top lens here is red rather than white or clear. And, oh, it's all very nice and moulded in there nicely still, the rubber. So that's going to look nice. So the Item was delivered across town, but the dear lady that had the house where it was dropped off showed up at our house today and dropped it to our door in person and said, because the address was right on the packet, and so how nice of her to do that. Let's go and offer it up to the bike just to see how it looks. I mean, I've said this before, but obviously that's the difference. You can see the two lights together. Now, apparently these are unavailable from Harley-Davidson now. So I think it's because they do all of their new lights with LED. And this is, of course, the old bulb method. So that's going to fit a treat. So we just need to wait for the number plate bracket from Harley and the LED light from Harley. Then we can do the next bit. So catch you in a few days, I suppose. Some more parts have arrived. That's the lamp, we touched on that the other day. Here is the LED lamp, which will go underneath the plate. It's all sealed in, very nice. That's that. And then there is this little plug. This isn't that very good. Right, oh, two pieces. I wonder if it's two different, oops, this way. Oh, there's two. They look the same. That's interesting. I wonder if I need to re-pin one plug. There aren't any instructions, but once we get the light back off, we will have a look at the pin configuration in that silver backing plate. And then the number plate holder, which goes on the chrome light piece. There we are, that's nice. I've got some screws for that in this sort of bag of surplus hardware. So we'll find some screws, I think. And that'll screw into the, probably with a washer, but that'll screw in. I just need to find two little screws in my collection of screws to go through this into the chrome housing. So let's get that off the bike and then we can begin to put things together. A delicate operation, this wasn't mounted in a conventional way, so. Yeah. Hey, there we go. So I've got the ignition on. So this is the new socket at the top, and it's got 3 pins, but there's 2 wires. And the one on the right is neutral, and then the one on the left is the power for it, so that'll go under there. Sorry about that dog noise. Oh, now he's quiet. He's sad. He's lonely. Nobody wants to play with me. Right, so there's the indicators. That's where we're going to put the lamp, the number plate bracket, and that's where the lamp's going to go from there. Let's get that off. There we are. I did have to unpin the plug to get it through the small hole in the fender. I need to get the rubber bung that sits in behind that and a little bit of padding on the guard. So it's got a bump stop behind there, and the plastic doesn't hit there. Now the only thing I need is a reflector. I did have one in the dot, like a dot one in the middle of my old lamp, but I actually like this one without it. But there is in the lay down plate kit that wasn't used a reflector that I will actually just put there, and I think it will just finish it off nicely. So this has got a curved back to it, so it'll just stick onto there, I suppose. Get one go at it, don't we? Oh, it's got like a line in the middle, so I can line it up with that. Let's see a bit of fluff. Give that a good squeeze on there. Hold it for a few seconds. Well, I think that's the proverbial that ain't going anywhere type of a situation. Right. Little Harley hardware, which I can now use and see. So that's everything in place. Got the reflector, the plate, the same unit here, but the LED light under there. Got the fully redded out tail light and that little mount, which is the original piece there, but I just sort of be a mounter for the label. Now the reason we've done all this, of course, is to see if the stylized in this style little mini tool pack will fit. And of course it will, but let's put that on now with this new configuration. Very good. Let me show you. All right. Now we see that the plate obviously is down there, but just gives all this space to not get in the way, to not have to bend the edges over. And of course, with this being a Bob personalised plate, it certainly deserves to not be all ruined by being bent. So mission accomplished. That looks good. From the side, looks all very neat and tidy. Let's put the light on and have a look. Yeah, it looks nice, doesn't it? Reflector. LED, nice and bright. Red light, nice and bright too. That looks lovely. Oh, and even a little glow under there for the license label. So mission accomplished, I think, for this particular conversion accessory option. So I'm going to say possibly one of the only heritage Softails with the lower plate arrangement, certainly on one of the more modern Milwaukee 8 series ones that I've seen anywhere online. But look, if you like the content and you've enjoyed this video and you've found it fascinating, do give me a like and a subscribe. It really helps things along. It's been so good to interact with so many people on the channel over the past few months in the things that we've accomplished on the different bikes that we had. So this is Bob in Bob's garage with the Bob plate on Bob's bike, the Black Knight, and we will catch you in the next episode.